Hello, welcome to Bring It in the News, episode number 163. The chat is. Wait, fuck.
Nobody.
The chat is Wikipedia snippet, English Dom, Nandi, and Nandi. Yeah. Welcome, people.
What up, people?
Yeah. To start off today with a retarded article, for once. Actually, not for once, we've probably done that several times. I don't know why I'm on it. Natural History Museum is banned sexist for not liking a female animal exhibit. Although progress is being Although progress has been made against sexism, there are still pockets of resistance among those long dead exhibits in the Natural History Museum. A study of 5 museums found that women weren't the only females forced to fight sexism. Apparently, leopards and lions face it too. The famous collection and others being accused of prejudice.
Leopards and lions and bears.
Yeah, there wasn't enough female ones apparently, so it's sexist. Tom, with my dyslexia, I read that wrong. I said, I read that she gave you a boner lasagna yesterday. Seeing as your mum sounds incredibly wrong. Researchers looked at more than 2 million animals at the Natural History Museum, the Smithsonian National Museum, the Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., the Field Museum in Chicago, the American Museum in New York, and the French Museum of Natural History. Well, the actual article is that. What is this? What is its purpose? I don't know. It's actually stupid, really. Male birds are outnumbered by 60%. Outnumbered females by 60%. 40%, while mammals were up to 52% male. Museums are home to so-called reference animals, the official specimen for each species to which new animals must be compared. Although these important animals, only 27% of birds and 39% of mammals are female. Perhaps the peacock's snowy tail and the lion's mane and the antlers grow by styles can make them a bigger crowd pleasers. Oh, DC. Yeah, really, this is just fucking stupid. It's literally got to the point where they complain about it nothing at this point.
Yeah, because God forbid they actually go to somewhere where women are actually being oppressed.
Like, oh no, there's not enough female animals in this prison, therefore women are oppressed. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was a cool ostrich, though. The problem, according to researchers, is that leaving out female members of the animal kingdom may be bad for science. It's harder to classify females into the correct species, where there are not many to refer to. The study published in the Journal Proceedings of Royal Society B calls for this to be redressed. Study author Dr. Natalie Cooper of the Natural History Museum said there is a tendency for people collecting to what they want to get the largest grizzly bear or the animal with the most impressive horns. The animals were collected between 1751 and 2018. But things didn't get better with time, Dr. Cooper stating. Interestingly, we see no improvement. Even recent collections are biased. It's just, yeah. Nothing much I can say about that other than it's just fucking stupid.
You're not wrong.
Well, sexism in the Museum of Natural History. Breaking news. Pretty much, yeah. You never hear the term the great thing according to researchers. No, you don't. Women 27 says thousands to transform into living doll. Favorite cartoon.
Seriously.
Katie Castles from LA. I'm shocked. Well, Japanese anime cartoons and bases her androgynous look on them. An anime obsessed woman has spent tens of thousands of pounds transforming herself into a living doll. The fuck was that? That child.
Yeah, probably my kid.
Man, this is master pass. I'm gonna pass.
Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Marketing strategist Katie Castles became interested in becoming a living doll after watching Japanese cartoons as a young teenager. This 27-year-old was particularly taken in by the beautiful porcelain dolls and started to think how she could incorporate this into her fashion. Androgynous at LA Weave, oh dear.
Shit.
Katie from LA described the look as androgynous. Some people don't even recognize her. Katie, who dresses up 4 times a week, said it's part of my life to the point I forget I look weird. I don't like other people. I like to be that person. That person that Shooter is staring at me to do. I have something in my teeth that I'm like, oh wait, I look like a giant pink blob. Like, yeah, what the hell? That's terrifying. Although worryingly enough, though, she's better looking like that than she was before. I don't know what that says, but okay.
If I had to choose an anime character to look like, I'd probably choose Mokina.
Thousands of pounds on you.
It also, the Mokina also gives me the favorite line from that. Someone asks, "What is Mokina?" And the lady goes, "Well, you count them 1 Mokina, 2 Mokina, and then you stop because there's only 2." It's a little like, well, one's black and one's white, so there's like, it's just like a ball, fuzzy animal.
Thousands of pounds of cash, thousands of pounds of proper money. That's what it is. Wikipedia snippet. Pooch Queen. I always ask my friends if they mind if I dress up because staring can be anxiety-inducing for people not accustomed to it. I don't really notice. People take a lot of pictures, but I don't really mind because I like taking pictures too. If I saw someone who looked like me on the street, I would want to take a picture too because it would be so unbelievable. A signature big hair often takes more than 1 wig, sometimes even 4 ponytail clips to achieve the volume, and sometimes even like 36 to 40 individual blows. I think that is the most I've ever wore it because I had to, people guess the number. And it's like, why? Someone filing their nails. I come here for the Mr.
Oh.
Black.
I'm guessing that would be me, and I'm filing a bit of a lever for a lockpicking set.
She added, I spent around 1.5 to 2 hours getting ready. I spent a lot of time on makeup because in my opinion, I'm not very good at it. So that's what it takes the most time, other than fixing blows and clips to the head in a sort of Tetris-like arrangement. She shares an incredible sense of style with her 68,000 followers on Instagram under the handle at Katie Baby Doll, and has spoken about how much she spent on achieving her dream of becoming a lifestyle, becoming a living doll over the years.
Hello, Cryptic.
I've seen a lot worse. I remember some guy who paid like £30,000 or something to look like Ken.
Yeah,
Wow,
this
he's
whole
awesome.
thing. This whole thing still screams that one skit from that TikTok app. You know, I hear cosplay is very popular on this app, so here's my cosplay of an attention-seeking whore.
How would you know I had ugly ears? Aren't most ears ugly?
Man, that reminds me of a joke. I ain't going to say that joke because it's rude.
You
Wanna
can say the
shut
joke,
up,
I don't
Cole?
care. I think we care about the joke here.
When have any of us in this place gave a half a damn about being rude?
True. So there's this woman getting plastic surgery because she has big labia, and she wants no one to know about it. But when she wakes up from the surgery, there's 3 roses. So she asks where the roses are from. One's from the nurse goes, one's from the doctor, one's from the nurse, and one's from the guy in the burn ward saying thank you for the ears.
What?
Okay.
Great joke.
I've heard worse jokes.
Her ultimate dream would be one day to be recognized for her style on the front cover of Vogue magazine. Pretty shitty dream, isn't it? I said my dream would be to see the supreme dictator of the world. Still waiting for that dream, though.
Stupid freaking tool, not the right shape or width.
Thunder has a weird shaped tool. Confirmed.
Well, I need it to stick in the lock a certain way that I'm playing with.
Hello, Red
And
Feather.
it won't stick in that way because it's too wide.
You're not helping yourself.
Yeah, on the list of weird things I have laying around, I have a fancy lockpicking set.
Why do you have that?
Why not?
Because the
When
lockpicking
people
picking
see
set can be
Charlie Sheen, they're
considered a felony.
Well, only if you're wearing a balaclava. Apparently, if you just have the lockpicking set and no real, like nothing else, they don't really get you on. Well, maybe if you had priors, but apparently it's fine. But
Are you a licensed, bonded, and insured locksmith?
No, but I only pick my own locks, and that's the promise I made when I bought it.
LA City Council holds no fault evictions ahead of statewide rental controls. Reports say. The LA City Council Tuesday approved a moratorium on evictions bid to prevent landlords from kicking out tenants ahead of statewide rent controls, according to reports. Yeah, because rent controls are going to really fix this problem, isn't it?
Man,
Problem.
The guy won't pay his rent, and you can't kick him out.
Well, no, rent control means you can't jack up their rent.
Oh,
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, but what happens if like, they start losing money, so they decide fuck it, and someone else decides to kick them out?
Their problem. That's really what it is. They consider it the landlord's problem.
I think the trailer park I was living at, the rent went up to $600 a month. Freaking outrageous.
Yeah, so
But
you
then
can
again, it had a pool.
to take his pick. I have to look up balaclava.
Like a ski mask.
And Manny says she's calling Agent Penis about his lock picking business.
Listen, I only pick my own locks for fun.
He has to pick his own locks. I mean, he has a weird shaped tool.
And the bond which council members passed 14-0 would prevent property owners from evicting tenants without just cause. Just cause would include non-payment of rent or using the unit for criminal activity. Well, if they own the building, then surely it's up they should be allowed to set the fucking rules of what happens in there.
I heard a
You would think
story.
so.
I've heard a story once of like bad tenants. They were deer hunters, and the winter it was fine, but apparently they had stacked the couple deer bodies underneath the like back porch. Come summer, that ain't too lovely.
Rent control solved no problems there, but it just causes landlords to sell up or rent out subpar properties. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't fix the problem. It just if anything, it causes more like, things like more homelessness, doesn't it? You're like fuck
It
it,
causes more slumlords and more slums.
and homelessness as well potentially. It's like the reason why it's expensive in the fucking first place is because of the high demand to live in the city, and there's not enough housing.
You either pay an assload of rent in the city, or well, you have to pay a lot of property tax in the country, and also get the amount of gas you use goes up.
It's like it's almost as if the laws of supply and demand don't exist to these people.
It's because they try to live in an idealized world that doesn't exist.
Yep. Some pointed out in the 80s that only rich people control benefit. Only people who control benefits are rich folk, the rich folk in Manhattan at least. Everyone else gets screwed over because they don't keep up maintenance. You know, why would they? There's no incentive to because they're not making enough money off it.
Yep.
Have you ever been asked the favor of picking a lock for someone who's locked themselves out Green Thunder?
No, because not a lot of people know I have it, and I don't talk to people.
Or at least like
I
6 people you have it now.
The only lock besides the visible lock that came with this set and this master lock I'm playing with right now, I've tried to pick the garage door lock once. I ended up using a butter knife. I accidentally locked the keys in the garage.
Tenants' rights group cited by the Times said no fault evictions have increased since Governor Gavin Newsom signed the Assembly Bill 1482 into law earlier this month. The law, which has limited rent increases to 5%, plus inflation in most cases. No fault eviction refers to when tenants are evicted through no fault of their own, when such as when a landlord abruptly ends the lease. Well, it sucks to suck.
There's
Some people want Manhattan. They want Manhattan apartments.
Well, basically just boxes.
At Bronx prices.
Yeah. You also apparently get paid a lot if you work in Manhattan, but that most of that money still goes to rent, so you end up not getting forward any.
California is set to implement new restrictions on evictions and rent increases on January 1st, 2020. Housing advocates cited by the station said landlords have been issuing more eviction notices and raising rent by unreasonable amounts since Newsom signed the new law. I'd rather live in Brooklyn.
Red Feather, yes, it's a hobby. I've actually never gotten into this master lock, so I suck at it. Like all things I do, I suck.
News of the moratorium was met Tuesday with resounding cheers by the city council across the world. Mayor Eric Garcetti, whose final appeal will be required before the ordinance goes into effect, is to sign it later on Tuesday. So yesterday, basically. So yeah, rent controls don't work. Supply and demand do those. It's like London's wages being higher, but London prices outweigh them. Yeah, well, that's what you get for living in London, isn't it? High demand for living in London.
Is there any benefit to living in London right now? Well, I guess I'm only going by what I hear on the news, but is it as bad as it sounds?
Things like the parliament and financial sector and stuff are based in London.
I don't know. How do you feel about Sharia law, Thunder?
I think women should be treated equally to men. And I mean, if they want to stay in the kitchen, they can, but I wouldn't chain them to it unless they ask me to nicely.
Then London wouldn't be a good place for you.
Are they really got Sharia law now?
No, not officially.
Keyword officially.
Well, isn't there some places like no-go zones? Is that
there's no-go zones all over Britain. There's no-go zones in Scotland as well.
Are they any of the pretty tourist traps no-go zones? Or did they leave those alone?
Well, no, because if there were tourist traps, there wouldn't be no-go zones, would there? Because there'd be no tourists there. You can't go in them. Yeah, benefits living in London is now. Prestige is the only benefit. Commuting times also, yeah. Anyway, drunk Santa arrested in California after police found him in car. I was drunk and made some poor choices. I think we can all get behind that. Christmas came early for one California man dubbed the drunk Santa. Street criminal. He's most definitely on the local law enforcement's naughty list. Briefly found the festive and apparently impatient man Tuesday after they found him inside his car at around 7 a.m. The man has not been identified by authorities. Appeared to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs or both, police said. Police took to social media to share the message from the drunk Santa street criminal. Dear Santa, the letter began. I'm sorry I stole your red suit. I was drunk and made some poor choices. I know it's only October and it's hot. Too hot for the suit, but I was drunk. Poor choices. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't support the law. It was signed sincerely drunk Santa criminal. It was not immediately clear any potential repercussions would include a lump of coal.
Man, they're going all out on the bad ones on this one, aren't they?
Yeah. I just can't even. Can't even. Oh. Anyway, can you believe that actually? Can you believe racial harassment also includes white? Can you believe white people are a race?
White people are what?
A race. University racism study criticized for including anti-right harassment. It's almost as if white people aren't a race. To some people.
Remember, it is the freaking Australia voted that it is absolutely not okay to be white.
Yeah, they did.
Actually, the wild part is, on top of the not okay to be white thing, have y'all heard about Miley Cyrus? Now it's not okay to be straight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently,
That's
Miley
probably
Cyrus put something saying, made a comment saying it was all right to be straight, and everybody got pissed at her.
Chris, I can't even disagree with you on that one.
I mean, without straight people, where would the gay people come from?
That's
Cabbage Patch in the middle of the woods.
That's dork.
A really fabulous Cabbage Patch in the middle of the woods. That's where gay people.
That's dork. That's where they come from.
A fabulous stork, freaking glittery wings.
Prominent academics and student leaders have criticized the government's equalities watchdog for including prejudice against white British students into its inquiry on racism in UK universities. They complained that an equalities watchdog did things equally. Okay. They accused the Equality and Human Rights Commission of drawing a false equivalence between what it described as racial harassment against white students and staff and the racism suffered by their black and ethnic minority peers. According to the Watchdog survey, 9% of white British students experience racial harassment compared with 29% of black students and 27% of Asian students. That seems a bit high, doesn't it? I don't know if I believe those numbers.
sounds a little bit high.
I refuse to believe more than 1 in 4 black and Asian students get racist abuse. I don't think that's the case.
I'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
Someone's made something up there.
Nah, they're always making shit up.
Well, it's a good thing no one is 100% white then.
I got enough freckles, I count.
Was gay could be safer, could be straight for reproductive. A lot of monster babies. So you counting your freckles being brown as you not being 100% white?
Well, I do now. Well, technically, I count me as having green skin because technically I do have green skin. It's a patch. Yeah, I do.
A tiny little patch of green.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I'm intrigued now.
Haven't you seen this?
Yeah, but that's a tattoo that doesn't count.
Yeah, it does to me. It's green skin.
It's a tattoo.
Yeah, but how else would you describe it?
A tattoo.
The skin is green.
Yeah, you're 100% homosexual. Yeah,
Hey, Thunder. Well, I had green hair at one time and didn't even have to dye it. Worked in a plant with copper.
Copper oxide, yeah.
Yep. And it would get into your system and into your hair.
And yeah, green front is part left purple.
Let's see. I do believe the last name Morrison does come from Ireland, so maybe.
Yeah, the tattoo is green. It's the skin it's on top of white skin. See, yeah.
Green skin.
Because if you got the tattoo burnt off, it would be the skin underneath would be white.
Well, technically the skin's over it and under it. The tattoo's in the skin.
Well, it's more permanently etched onto the skin. According to the report entitled Racial Harassment, Universities Challenge highlighted examples of anti-English sentiment at Scottish and Welsh universities. A white English member of the staff told the inquiry that 2 Welsh colleagues used a slur when referring to English people. She was speaking in English and changed to Welsh for that word, thinking I wouldn't understand. I never come across so much racism as when I moved to Wales.
How do you say cracker in Welsh?
I don't think it was. It's because they're Welsh and he was English. They didn't like him very much. But then English isn't a race, though. Neither is Welsh.
It's nationality.
Yeah, they're 2 separate countries within the same country.
Now that's just confusing.
Yeah, but what can you do about it? Yeah, so it doesn't get slaughtered off when you shit. So it doesn't get slowed off when you shed dead skin cells.
It's below the dead skin layer. That's how tattoos work.
Heidi Mirza, a visiting professor of race, faith and culture at Goldsmith University of London, said the EHRC's inclusion of anti-British settlement has been watered down the impact of racism on people of colour. Anti-black, anti-Asian, and anti-Islamophobic and anti-Semitic racism is on a different scale to that of the anti-English settlement, she said. The experience of the Scottish and Welsh students by experience will not equate to this to what skin colour and visible difference means to students on campus. Well, how would you know? How would you know it's not the same? Fope Foreign, the black students officer at the National Union of Students, said the EHRC ignored pleas to make a roundtable event with the inquiry team earlier this year to exclude the anti-white harassment from their report. I remember sitting down at one of the roundtables and a bunch of students and myself had to explain the excruciating detail that anti-white prejudice should have no place in a report on racial harassment. Yeah, do you see the really anti-white prejudice should have no place in a report on racial harassment?
Well, obviously, because whites are always the evil ones.
What?
Listen,
TC. I don't get that. I don't understand.
like,
Clown world.
well, you're trying to make logic out of this racist bullshit, and racism never makes sense to me. Never understood it. I don't give a shit what you look like. I just want you to leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, maybe. Like I see, we are not listened to. So, Your Honour, there is an indefinite tension with the students in the room who were concerned by how they were defining racism in the report, and many of us pressed and challenged it.
Gesundheit.
Gargi Foreign, professor of sociology at the University of East London, said similar concerns had been raised by the HRC by the university's College Union Black Member Standing Committee. She tweeted, "We had a similar awkward convo with them. and sent written notes to remind them of our concerns on the issue. Concerns that white people also receive harassment. But harassment's only bad when it happens against us, though. It's not bad when it happens against us white people. An EHRC spokeswoman said the report made it clear that racial harassment predominantly affects Black and Asian students. She added we received a small number of examples of anti-English settlement at Scottish and Welsh universities, offensive comments about Gypsy and Irish traveller students, and examples of anti-Semitic slurs for staff and students to ignore these issues. Many results would have been wrong. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter because being Black and Asian is much worse for you, apparently. Mr. O'Rourke's enemies tried to kill Justin on Fantasy Land. They wanted to remove Tattoo by laser. They only wanted him, and he cried out, "Clean boss the day." Okay. Hello, Jen. I'm gonna assume you're still pissed off about the election, are you? For those who don't know, Jen's Canadian.
Yeah, y'all. Seriously, with how much shit they give Donald Trump saying he is the worst thing to ever happen, Trudeau is worse than what Trump has done.
Yeah, but there isn't much that I can do at the moment. Yeah, you got to wait another 4 years now.
Well, at least the Yaniv case went the right way. Problem is, the James case did not. Sad for that boy.
Believe me, I live in the square of blue. Believe me, I live in the square of blue. Yeah, so most people around you will be unhappy then.
And I'm back.
Our recommendations are designed to ensure that universities can appropriately address and tackle racial harassment in all its forms. We might be separating in the next 2 years, so there's that. Trudeau is on. I hope he goes into porn after. Of course, you'd say that, Molly, wouldn't you? Yeah. Prison porn, maybe Monday. Anyway, this is something I could get behind.
Oops.
Pedos sue cults for slapping no trick-or-treat signs on their homes to protect kids, claiming it breaches their rights.
Do what?
Pedos are suing cults for slamming no trick-or-treat signs on their homes to protect kids, claiming the warnings breach their rights.
Well, you should have thought of that before you diddled kids. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you have no rights.
Yeah.
By the nature of whatever registry they have to sign up for, they're not supposed to be within ... of anyway.
And not supposed to be, but I guess the signs are just an extra warning. I'm trying to convince people to dress up as blackface Trudeau for Halloween, though. I mean, if you can, why can't I, right? Yeah, exactly. A group of convicted sex offenders in Georgia, U.S. are taking the Butts County Sheriff Office. Okay, Your county needs a better name. Fucking Bots County.
Please tell me there's a brothel there. There needs to be a brothel in Box County.
Bots County.
What is it?
Bots County.
Oh, Bucks? Yeah, same thing. There needs to be. Oh, Buds? Yeah, definitely a gay brothel then.
So, yeah, you're now entering Bots County. The rear exit to Bots County.
All the truck drivers go on the CB say, "I got your back door, driver."
The court for violating their rights to free speech and privacy. Yeah, see more bots. Normally I'd be against this, but you're pedophiles, so I don't feel sorry for you.
Dear pedos, you are actually in violation of your registry demands, and it is not your problem. It is not your or it's not the police's problem that you cannot. Let me reword this. It's not the problem of the police if they just want to make sure that the information of which convicted sex offender is where isn't taken too seriously by the parents.
Yeah, you not have to. Isn't it true that if you're a sex offender, you have to actually go around and everyone's address saying that you're a registered sex offender in the US?
Yeah, you have to. You actually have, once you register as a, or have, once you have to register as a sex offender. That's it. It's public information that you live where you do and you are a sex offender. So,
there's a fun story. The trailer park I used to live in said they do not rent to sex offenders, but you look them up on the registry. There's a whole bunch in there.
That's probably it's probably because they actually did not specifically rent to the sex offenders.
Yeah,
it's probably a family member or something that
they live with their parents, so they rent to the parents, and then oh boy, was it annoying when the bus came through, because it would drop, the school bus would drop half its load off at the trailer park. Freaking lots of kids.
Bad choice of words when we're talking about sex offenders there, Thunder. Dropping your load off? Really?
Bad phrasing. I'm going to disavow myself.
Touching your own button, calling cops on yourself, a good idea to be placed on that list. I guess if you're doing it in public,
is a pressed ham really grounds to get on the sex offender list?
Is what?
Pressed ham. When you press your ass up against the window as you drive by.
Actually, yeah. That's up to the judge's discretion whether or not you actually go on the list or not. The sex offender registry is not just pedophilia; it's any sexual offense.
True. Oh, there was a 15-year-old that got on it for having child porn because he had his own dick pic in his phone.
Yeah, I've seen that. I remember also seeing one where the men, the girls and boys. There was a girl and a boy who both sent dick pics, and then they both said the girl didn't send a dick pic, but they both sent pictures of each other, and then it was the boy that got charged, and I'm like, wait a minute. They both sent pics. Why is he the one getting charged?
They were a couple.
Why is he the one getting charged?
Because vagina. Yeah. That's why.
Because of the Duluth model. That's it. That the Duluth model, which is a thing over in the U.S., it says in anything such as that, it's always the men's fault. Period.
What?
Oh God! The Duluth model. If a man is subject to if a man is a victim of any kind of domestic abuse, the Duluth model actually teaches that it's still his fault.
How is it?
Oh my god, that
Women shouldn't
reminds
be protected class.
uh,
I'll leave it at that.
It's absolutely it's absolutely insane.
that reminds me of another story. So basically I think the guy was 11 when it happened. His babysitter had sex with him and he got charged with the sex offense.
I'm not surprised. Well, there is that story.
I think you a tip pick if you request it. I'll decline that cryptic.
Yeah, I'm going past cryptic.
There's actually still the story of there's also the story of a guy who was a victim of sexual abuse. I think it was his babysitter or something seduced him and slept with him. He was the victim of it, but she still sued him for and won child support from him.
Anyway, this is depressing. Anyway, they were outraged after Butts County Sheriff Gary Long got his deputies placed the warning no trick or treat at this address. Signage in the front gardens. More than 200 registered sex offenders in the county. 3 perverts have filed a lawsuit to fight against the very public warnings ahead of Halloween, reports Fox News.
To me, that just sounds like, how dare you make it where I can't reoffend?
Yeah, how dare you just tell the whole world I'm a pedophile? Say, well, that's your problem for being a fucking pedophile.
Yeah. Now, are they doing that to all? Here's actually the question: are they doing it to all quote unquote sex offenders or just pedophiles?
I don't think the article makes that very clear.
That's actually a question we kind of need to get answered.
Yeah,
because if it's if it's a sex offender, somebody who got caught, banging a prostitute can be considered a sex offender.
That's a load of shit.
Hello, conspiracy. I'll take you up on that cryptic. Need to something to bring me direct to life before bright. No. There you go, English Storm. There you go, English Storm. You have a customer cryptic.
Well, technically, the words came out of your mouth, so.
No, I'm just quoting what English Storm said.
Context does not matter.
Yeah, if you look in the chat, English Storm said that, not me.
Well, he wrote it. You're the one who said it out loud.
We'll send you a tip pic. There you go. We're gonna send a picture of like a blue tail or something.
Dang it! I was just thinking that. Like, ooh, have you seen the blue-footed booby?
Yeah, it's a bird.
No shit.
Anyway. The sheriff had placed similar signs outside Peter's properties last year. Said this on Facebook. Signs are being used to keep young trick-or-treaters safe. Sheriff Long said that the force was merely following Georgia law and protecting children. Signs were installed after a local Halloween festival was cancelled and the streets were flooded with trick-or-treaters going door to door.
Okay,
The
so
pedo's lawyer.
It is just pedos. I have no problem with this then.
Yeah, absolutely no problem with it.
It doesn't make that very clear that it's just pedos. I just said people who are on a sex offender. Assuming it was pedos. Which again, I wouldn't have much of a problem with anyway, because if you didn't want to be would have done that, you shouldn't have done the thing you did to be on the register in the first place.
I don't know. So some incel dude gets desperate and bangs a prostitute and gets arrested for it and put on the registry. You got to kind of feel sorry for that kid.
Well, if you're fucking a prostitute, that shouldn't be illegal anyway.
That is true, but it shouldn't be, but it is.
If anything, she should be on the sex offenders register because she's the one selling it. that's the case.
Actually, there are times where they do.
I'm still going with prostitution should be legal, but somewhat regulated.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sex offenders should have signs all year long. Yeah, but the pedo's lawyer, Mark Foran, said told Fox 5 Atlanta, the law allows the sheriff to put a list of registered sex offenders at his office, at the courthouse, and on the internet. It does not allow him to go door to door telling people you have a sex offender living next door to you. I'm unsure this kind of action makes your kids any safer. It just makes your constitutional rights less safe.
Those constitutional rights are waived the moment you committed that kind of crime.
Yeah.
And actually, it is the police's responsibility to warn you of such dangers in the community.
Foran also alleged it was also trespassers. The sheriff's department was coming into their property and putting signs on there. Again, the moment you fuck the child, that's the moment you lose that right. Right.
You are a registered child. You are a registered child predator, or you are a convicted child predator. The police are able to go onto your property with no fucking reason whatsoever. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny the rights, the constitutional rights you actually lose when you commit that heinous of a crime.
And if you don't fall for committing such that's an awful crime.
Uh-huh.
Well, as Georgia state offence, the registry doesn't stipulate that perverts should have to have such signs installed in their property. They shouldn't be forced to by their own deputies. Foran said there are individuals who have been brave enough not to be afraid to let the public know and they are registered sex offenders, but they are not willing to tolerate this unlawful action by the sheriff. According to the Butts County Sheriff website, Sheriff Long, who is married with 3 children, has already had 2 decades in law enforcement. He received considerable support from residents for his initiative, with Nancy Wood commenting, "Sheriff Long, I stand with you. Keep these signs up every Halloween. Convicted sex offenders should not have rights." So I'm still unsure if it's just pedophiles who are doing it to or sex offenders. I'm not 100% sure. But even so, I can still see why they do it if it's a law of you.
I'm looking it up right now because I'm actually looking up the law specifically right now because in several states, if somebody's in the if someone is in the sex offender registry as a pedophile, they're not allowed to have kids near them anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was California that had to back down on ruling that their sex offenders are not allowed within like 5 blocks of a park because there's too many parks in California and the sex offenders would be homeless.
Schools.
Was it schools?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elizabeth Jenks added, I agree, they've lost their rights when they committed that heinous crime. Stand your ground, Sheriff Long. Deborah Tucker defending the pedos, though, saying, it does not say what type of sex crime. Some are from teens having sex. Sex crime covers a huge amount, and some aren't involving sex at all. If even still, it doesn't have to be sex to be still a terrible crime.
Well, haven't people gotten it for peeing in the bushes?
And that's stupid. That should just be like public urination.
Actually, it is possible.
This from the dynamic comments from Lisa Jennifer Rainey, who said, "I'd rather put a sign up in every yard, made sure kids are safe from predators. There are laws increasing penalties for dealing drugs within so many feet of a school." Something is, I think over here, what did they put? I think it was like what like I think they put like a member of a grooming gang or something right next to a fucking school, basically. Like who the fucking hell wrote all that? I get an idea. Let's put a member of a grooming gang right next to a fucking school. Right.
Well, tell you what. Okay. We'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and let these little perverts have what they want. The sheriff, as the sheriff, is no longer allowed to put up signs. Now, what are you going to do about all the private citizens that do it? If he's a private citizen, or as a private citizen, there's nothing that says he can't sit and put up a billboard with your face on it.
How much is a billboard? Well, depends on the location, probably. How much a billboard would be?
Anywhere from
Don't
$300
go
to
to this man's
$3,000 a
house.
month.
I'm saying just don't go to this man's house or something.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda Wallen weighed in with a paedophile is a paedophile. Even if it is a young 18-year-old man having sex with a young prepubescent girl. The judge is expected to rule on the Bucks County initiative tomorrow. So yeah, I think if it is just paedophiles, then it is a good idea. I'm not 100% against it. We have an anti-billboard law where I live. Doesn't that go against the Constitution having an anti-billboard law?
I know Hawaii doesn't do billboards because they don't want to ruin the beauty of Hawaii. Yes? You don't say. That was like the loudest she's ever meowed.
It was cute though.
It was cute.
She's a cute kitty. Which is why I can never get mad at her when her and the other one start yelling at me the second I walk into the kitchen.
I was a
They're
good
not
guy.
yelling. They're sitting there playing Feed Me Seymour.
Well, they usually have food.
I was a good guy who used a gun in self-defense. There was nothing good about it. Police are coming. I shouted my voice, cracking like a prepubescent teenager. If you come near me, I'll frickin' shoot you.
Do what now?
On the 2nd of October, 10 Democrat presidential candidates championed their strategies to combat gun violence. In a live from Las Vegas. That doesn't make sense.
Man, I didn't know inanimate objects were to blame for humans being shit.
Light drugs don't do Scotty, not even once. They had to amend the law to allow the time and temperature building to display ads to provide the money to keep it running after a special fund run out. It's also from Wikipedia, is it? Yeah. Presented on the 2nd anniversary of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. modern history, the visions eclipsed NRA CEO Wayne LaPierre's defense.
Sorry.
Defense. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. I'm a good guy who used a gun encounter in self-defense. There was nothing good about the encounter. I can't imagine there would be, but
the loss of human life is always sad, but if that human life was a piece of shit, it's a little less sad. Still sad, but a little bit less.
If you come into someone's house with a gun and someone shoots you, then that's your own fault, isn't it?
Mhm.
You had it coming as far as I'm concerned. At 26, I rented a home in El Palo Alto, California. Yeah, California's CA, isn't it?
Do what?
California's CA.
Yeah.
Insanely low rent. Situated in Miami's fishing lifestyle despite the crime-infested neighborhood. By 1992, it had one of the highest murder rates per capita in the country. The rental sat adjacent to a 76 gas station that closed at midnight, then morphed into a bustling adult drive-through. Dealers and prostitutes conducted business at the phone bag between the driveway and the station. Oh, these guys. How much fucking shit do you write to fucking write out your fucking article? Get to your point.
Paid by the letter.
Let's see what this guy's point is. I know this is highly unprofessional, but I just need to know what this guy's point is.
Guns are bad. Guns are bad. Guns are bad. Guns are bad.
A piece of machined metal in of itself is just an object.
So what I get with that is the guy basically, he owned a gun. He used his gun in self-defense because what the gun was probably he had the gun for in the first place. He felt bad about it, and then he saw himself as no longer a good guy, got rid of his gun, and now he sees himself as a good guy again.
Would you rather kill or get killed?
It's
I know he wants to.
virtue signaling nonsense.
Pretty much.
It's a landmark in Portland, Maine, the good Portland. Anyway. You know, on a Green Thunder stream earlier, we were talking about dildos.
Sorry.
Well, you can actually win a dildo.
They're funny looking.
Well, you can actually
Listen,
win a dildo.
some dildos are funny looking.
Well, you can win a dildo.
I don't want a dildo.
Pub Faces losing a license after landlord offered sex toy as competition prize and promoted domestic violence.
Wait, a dildo's domestic violence now?
If it doesn't fit, I guess.
Pub Faces losing its license after the landlord offered a dildo as a competition prize in a post on his Facebook page. TikTok was also accused of promoting violence by asking partners if they would punch their ex for a steak.
Okay, never mind. That's where the domestic violence comes in.
People do what?
Also, how hard are they punching? Because
He called it banter and blamed the PC Brigade for reporting the George Bar and Grill in Stockton on T's Code Durham. But the Borough's Council lease review meeting will rule on the pub's future next week. Labour MP Alexander Cunningham tweeted, "I'm pleased the police are objecting to this license application. The domestic violence cannot be condemned." What kind of what cut of meat? I have no idea. And the meeting, the pub's social media page read, "Remember, it's because of a Facebook post reported by the PC Brigade. If you're offended by with slight humor, then get off Facebook, please. Get off our Facebook page and eat someone else." So that's a good way to go. That's probably the best way to go about it. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people who love to punch their ex, regardless of if they got steak or not.
Yeah.
Which I'm not one of them, by the way. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it kind of works. Our Facebook page is full of banter and meals full of calories. That's what we do. Pub boss Craig Harker said the accusations against him were absolutely ludicrous. Some steaks are better than others. The place looks tiny. Does look kind of small, doesn't it?
A little bit.
It's not a bad looking steak. I'd eat that. So yeah, I think closing it down is stupid. I wouldn't close it down for that. Anyway, time for Trump to get impeached again.
For what this time?
I know someone managed to get a ceasefire.
Trump impeachment. Republicans go, fuck off. Like, I'd walk you. And Agent Phoenix is in the chat, giving links to new channels that.
You should stop sharing your screen and click it seriously.
You know, every time Thunder says you should just stop sharing your screen and click it, I worry.
I mean, it's allowed on YouTube.
Is that allowed on YouTube though?
They have 16,000 subs apparently.
Boy, what the hell is wrong with you?
I wish I had
A lot.
16,000.
Why?
Ay,
Yeah,
There's
that's
something
it.
there's just something ain't right about you, Thunder.
Bad Dragon.
Yeah, they have a YouTube. They freaking have a YouTube channel. It's great.
Is that the website you find all your dildos from? Is it?
I don't have any dildos, and it's the Bad Dragon is the most interesting looking dildos I've ever seen.
There's just something that ain't right about you.
That boy ain't right. That's Hank would say. Trump impeachment. Republicans cause chaos as they storm in quietly into president. Republican politicians stormed into a secure meeting room during hearings on impeachment probe into President Trump's dealings with Ukraine. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz.
Gates.
Yeah.
Gates.
And House Minority Whip Stephen Scalise.
Scalise.
Of Louisiana said that led dozens of Republicans into House Intelligence Committee hearing inside a sensitive, compartmented information facility, or SCIF. Among many secure rooms throughout the Capitol, that are limited to only members of those committees, which include both Democrats and Republicans, where classified information is shared and rank and file staff as well as electronic devices are prohibited. The guy told reporters outside the committee doors we're going to go and see if we can get inside. As a flood of Republican officials opened the doors, bringing their mobile phones into the classified room and potentially putting the investigating into jeopardy. Because I read the transcript of that. There was like nothing they can really impeach him on at all in that.
No, there isn't, but they're still trying.
It just sounded like friendly relations between two countries. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, the thing about that whole mess is they're going to start. Right now, they're sitting there trying to find somebody backward or somebody in the background who's done, or in someone behind the scenes who's done it. So, or said he did it. This whole impeachment thing is 100% a partisan thing.
Just trying every desperate attempt they can to get rid of him.
Pretty much. The
Sitting
thing
with
is,
the
at this point, they're kind of stuck because as long as if they fail to get an impeachment on him or actually start an actual impeachment and then manage to, or if they do it and fail, he's guaranteed the presidency.
I want to see him.
Even if they get rid of him, he can just run again in 2020 anyway. Can't he?
Yeah.
Oh my! I saw.
No,
the,
if he's impeached, he's impeached. He'll never be president again.
No, I thought you could.
I mean-
I thought it was like, I think it was Monkey that said like apparently you can just he'll go away for like a year. He can run again in 2020 because he's only done one term and he can be president again.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Facebook asking if you would give Donald Trump a third term in office, and apparently a lot of people would. I said no because term limits need to be a thing.
Yeah.
Well, term limits have only been a thing since just after World War II, when I think it was Roosevelt who stayed there too long, apparently.
Yeah, we need term limits for freaking Congress too, but that won't pass because Congress is the one that votes on it. And 1 second.
Yeah, they want to keep themselves in jail, don't they? It's the same reason why our voting system here won't change, because it affects it, because it benefits the two big parties. So as a result, the two big parties are going to keep voting in favor of it.
Uh-huh.
Just the way it works. Proceedings with the Pentagon official Laura Cooper, who oversees U.S. policy in Ukraine, are on hold while a security sweep of the room is performed. California Congressman Adam Schiff, who chairs the committee, told the sergeant at arms to disperse more than 30 Republicans who don't sit on the committee. I mean, they probably shouldn't have just stormed the event. No, I think that's a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the event should probably never happened anyway, because there's no reason to impeach him over the Ukraine stuff.
There isn't, but the weird thing is, as long as it involves Adam Schiff like it does, Adam Schiff is a guy who a couple weeks ago sat and pretty much invented a completely fake transcript and then read it out in Congress as if it was real.
Oh, was that Star Wars with a Tauntaun speech?
No. Adam Schiff was the guy who sat there and said, you know, the transcript will say, Donald Trump said, I've only asked you 7 times to do exactly what I want, right?
Oh.
No, the Adam, or the you're thinking the Ronald Reagan riding a Velociraptor.
Yeah. Yeah, slightly wrong, but great speech.
Talked to the whistleblower before anyone heard of it. In a press conference, Republicans said they were protesting what they believed as secretive proceedings and demand transcripts of witness testimony, despite the sensitivity of the flow of information that's intended to prevent compromising leaks. Mr. Trump was aware the group had planned to cross the testimony, and that was part of the investigation into his own impeachment. According to Bloomberg, which reported, the president believed the release of those transcripts would exonerate him.
Holy crap, that hair is amazing. Sorry, but that hair is amazing.
Well, not.
Yeah.
Protest came a day after crucial testimony from Bill Taylor, acting ambassador He's having a 14-page statement to call Trump's requested information to former Vice President and political rival Joe Biden was contingent on military aid to country contrary to Mr. Trump's denial of the so-called quick pro arrangement captured on July phone call with Ukraine President foreign. Mr. Trump and his supporters have been trying to undermine the legitimacy of impeachment proceedings as Trump has called for more protection from fellow Republicans. Drucker, you should be able to velociraptor, said Mandy. He also talked to the whistleblower before anyone heard of it. And good night, English Tom.
Night, Tom.
Night, Tom.
Hopefully you have a good day at work tomorrow. Mr. Trump called the probe a lynching in South Carolina Senator and the Trump ally Lindsey Graham told Fox News that the hearings are a closed door behind the scenes lack of due process inquiry. We should dismiss it without a trial because it's legitimate on its face. If it's allowed to stand, there's no protection for future presidents, Mr. Graham said. No, there isn't. Sadly, that's just the way it is. You got singing for
Some things
free.
will never change.
Anyway, time for
I
some.
sing for free all the time.
I think I've run out of a lot of interesting news now, so now we're just on
BRB.
stupid shit. No way. Watch as a herd of cows roam Kilmarnock streets, leaving residents baffled. A large group of farm animals have been spotted touring a Kilmarnock housing estate.
Uh-huh. Who the hell's got a little dog now?
The person in the video.
Not a dog. It's
Kilmarnock
a starter kid.
Kilmarnock residents have been left utterly speechless. After discovering a herd of cows in their quiet street today. A large group of animals were filming from the window on the South Craigs estate before moving onto another house. South Park's running of the cows. One resident, Moira Miller, who shot the footage, said that she was just lying on the sofa when she heard a moving sound. Cows are really outdoors. She told the Kilmarnock Standard, I was lying on the couch when I heard rumbling outside, and then there was moving sound coming from the house. You would shit yourself, and
I just have a weird question. Was there by chance a bunch of phantom cowboys running after these cows?
Well, I see them happening at some farmer or something. I don't know. Maybe in one field to another, I don't know. But police are here at the moment, and I think they're trying to stop them causing too much damage in the street. Nobody knows where the cows came from, but the estate in question is close enough to Glasgow Road. It's close to Glasgow Road, it's surrounded by farmland, so yeah, they obviously came from there. Cows are confusing, baffled. Yeah. Shut up. Hopefully it doesn't get fucking copyrighted. I hope that's not copyrighted music. You know. The resident said, did I just get herd of cows at Wollaston Park? Left for work, so I couldn't stop. I wasn't seeing things. Ghost Rider. Ghost cows is doing it. Ghost cow.
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day.
The Ghost Rider in the sky. Anyway. Anyway, the Hong Kong protests are maybe less of it now after this. Hong Kong withdraws controversial extradition bill that led to months of protests. Scrapping of the bill coincides with the release from prison of a murder suspect, which led to the case, which led to the legislation. Case led to the legislation, sorry. I want a pet cow. And the Hong Kong government has withdrawn the controversial extradition bill that sparked months of protests and violence. Security Secretary John Lee said on Wednesday, and formally announced withdrawal of the bill. However, he refused to take questions from democratic politicians. The bill allowed extraditions from Hong Kong to mainland China. Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam has proposed amendments to the extradition bill. That's not a pet cow, that's my girlfriend. Okay, Green Thunder, that's just worrying. And also, if you're on the stream, why are you putting that in the chat and no one was just saying that on voice? I don't know.
He got a phone call or something.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Skilly. Yeah, well, you're gonna clip that now, are you? Fuck's sake. Anyway, I still need to clip you. I still need to clip you singing fucking Barbie Girl. Legislation to try to resolve a case involving a man wanted for murder in self-ruled Taiwan who could not be sent to face charges because there was no extradition agreement. But the proposals led to fears that residents would be at risk of being sent to China's Communist Party controlled courts. Well, if they're being to China, that's what's going to happen, isn't it? China's foreign ministry said reports that their plans to replace Miss Lam was a political rumor with ulterior motives. Your girlfriend is a furry. No, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm all alone. So, yeah. Ministry spokeswoman Hua Zhenin made the comments at a daily news briefing in Beijing. The Financial Times reported that China was drawing up a plan to replace Miss Lam with an intern chief executive. The scrapping of the bill coincided with the release from Hong Kong prison of the murder suspect and on the controversy that has engulfed the extradition bill. Chan Tong Kai, who served a separate sentence for money laundering, said on his release on Wednesday that he wanted to turn himself into authorities in Taiwan, where he was wanted for the killing of his pregnant girlfriend, Poon Hui Wing. Herd of cows, not to be confused with Amber Heard. The protesters began early in June and spiraled across into the city's biggest decade with demand for universal suffrage and calls for an investigation into brutality. The concerns were understandable about China's increasing influence on them. I'd be pretty scared too if there was a communist country right on my doorstep that was trying to ever increase its power onto me. Never mind, actually. It's called the European Union, isn't it? Well.
Yeah.
Night, right, feather. And thank you for coming by. During recent protests, there have been claims that police spied Spain and Boston crowds with high pressure blue-eyed warrant from an assault vessel. Protesters have attacked banks and corporate buildings while police respond using tear gas and firing rubber bullets. Residents are angry with what they see as Beijing encroaching on the former British colonies. One country, two systems formula enshrined during the handover in 2007. Which admits the citywide ranging freedoms not available on the mainland, such as independent judiciary. It's not just that, they pretty much run themselves as their own country, basically. Reacting to the withdrawal bill, the protesters said there aren't any big differences between suspension and withdrawal of the accession bill. It's too little, too late. There are other demands and the government needs to meet, especially the problem with police brutality. Yeah, but what can you do when China's on your doorstep? Even worse than 2037 as well, if China's not completely taken over by then. Nothing that's put the army back over to China again properly. They're only leasing themselves for 50 years. Once that goes away, you're fucked. Yeah. Mum too scared to leave home, diagnosed with Halloween phobia after watching horror film. Catherine Blackmore, 40 feet from Cardiff, also has a crippling fear of people in masks and costumes and is too scared to go in October. Halloween phobia. A mum with crippling fear of Halloween is too scared to leave her home in October. Catherine Blackmore has been diagnosed with Samhainophobia, which hit after she saw a spooky film as a young girl. The teacher also has maskophobia and a fear of people in masks and costumes, making the season even more difficult for her. Am I roboting? Am I?
You are to me. I don't know if you are. I don't know if it's just me or you.
I'm refreshing. Come back then.
Yeah, Wikipedia says it's you.
Has it fixed it?
So far.
Good. Got the dark again. I then
Wikipedia sure is the month for pumpkins.
Wikipedia. What the fuck? Mom too scared to leave home. Diagnosed with Halloween phobia after watching a horror film.
Do what?
A mum with a crippling fear of Halloween is too scared to leave her home in October. Catherine Blackmore, 43, has been diagnosed with cyanophobia, which after she saw a spooky film as a young girl. The teacher also has maskophobia, a fear of people in masks and costumes, making this season even more difficult for her. The terror kicks in at the end of someone in guest worse of Halloween outfits hit the shop. She afraid of Michael Myers.
This screams of this is yet another reason why we should ban Halloween.
That just is fucking stupid. Really, she's a teacher as well, so that means like if kids go like school dresses like Halloween costumes, she must see herself. Someone should tell her that there's a spooky skeleton inside her.
Well, you can't because this sends shivers down her spine.
Catherine from Cardiff said, "Come the end of August, just as everyone is winding down from summer, I start to feel on my guard. I know I only have a limited time before things start to change." Yeah, it's called Autumn. As soon as the store begins stocking Halloween, I use such a mass costumes and decorations that can no longer go into town. I imagine the spooky stuff is coming to life and following me around the aisles. I found myself about it before to the extent I was physically sick. Well, that's either schizophrenia or anxiety, then, isn't it? Potentially both. I don't know.
I'd probably lean with the anxiety.
Well, schizophrenia on the severe end if you genuinely like hallucinate the fact that alive.
Do what? You're roboting again.
I mean, at least
I heard you mention something about her hallucinating something.
so then let's see. Am I roboting for anyone else? Let's check. Let's check. I don't know. Then.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to refresh it. I'm probably gonna have to refresh again. For fuck's sake.
No, don't worry. You're good now.
Mum said she'd be home. Wonder how long it is there. She'll be home soon. Wonder how long. Soon is there. I thought Mum would be home by now because she would have finished work way before that. When the two daughters were younger, they had to hide their Halloween costumes from her before changing at friend's house so husband Stephen could take them out trick or treat. My phobias were diagnosed in 2009, but were triggered when she caught a glimpse of Jamie Lee Curtis' film Halloween. Really, you didn't even see the whole film, just like a glimpse of the film. Like, really? He said it must have been 4 or 5, and again, the mask absolutely terrified me. Catherine has tried constantly claims her fears are too deep and too locked in to be cured. Well, you know, I don't feel sorry for you. How do you feel that your problems are never going to get sorted? I still have to be careful what I watched today. I was working in office. I walked in one day to find the whole place covered in Halloween decorations and all the stuff. Wearing masks, I ended up hiding in the bathroom. A spooky skeleton and everyone except boneless chicken. Yeah. Well, right. Try really hard to stress that thing out for 2 hours, but oh, but yeah. I think I have interesting stuff. Yeah, come on.
You know, I wish with that whole spooky, scary skeletons thing, if they were going to remix and rekindle an old song, could have at least not been a Disney song.
Not here. Man hides and chases his girlfriend, not to walk home alone, and ends badly. Boyfriend wanted to show her partner what could happen when she walks home in the dark, but it got very, very wrong. A man who became worried over his girlfriend's habit to walk home alone in the dark devised a well-intentioned but ultimately terrible plan to show her how dangerous it can be. See, I don't like the idea of making people scared about this kind of thing. Because I don't think you should be scared to walk the streets. At least in my opinion.
Where were they? And that's a good clue. What happened?
Hogan's ready explains that she commutes from work, but refuses to get a bus or taxi from the nearest train station. Save money despite his kind offers to pay. He insists on picking her up. She refuses and tells him she's becoming increasingly worried for her safety. When she calls every night on a long walk, I can say something is scaring her. The rustle in the bushes, nobody being around. When the boyfriend called to pick her up, she said it's not a big deal. With the daily event getting out of the way, it was routine. The 20-year-old man decided to. It was routine. Mum then decided to stay and teach her a lesson about the dangers of the road. You can see where this is going. So the other night, when she went near her home, I waited there in the corner of our street, she said. So the other night I waited home, I was waiting around the corner of our street. When she came around, I jumped out to scare her. She screamed and ducked her phone. When she realized it was me, she got super pissed off and said I was an arsehole. Was I? When I told her she was trying to see what could happen if she doesn't get transferred home, she said she was still really angry. I was saying something like way worse than that. Everyone should still thinks I'm an arsehole. But I think she needed a reality check. Unfortunately for the man, he uses girlfriends always fears against him. Scores of strangers on the internet confirmed their evaluation of the situation was spot on. One said, "You're the arsehole because jumping out in the bushes to scare a young woman walking home at night." He was already worried walking home alone is pretty much a universally shit thing to do. Here's the kicker though, you're the arsehole for doing it, but just you know she's already worried about it. Like a zooming. One of the worst things to be somewhere alone at night and got assaulted by a stranger, which is probably exactly what His girlfriend thought was happening when he jumped out. Not to mention, he could have caused a heart attack for real. There's a bit of exaggeration there.
I don't know. It depends on her heart.
His girlfriend might have to learn something. A lesson he's going to take away from this. His boyfriend is an arsehole. Must be there. Well, I'm pretty now. I was trying to explain that to her is I haven't trying to explain anything to pissed off women is just a challenge at best. It's not going to happen, is it? Yeah. Do. Nine migrants found alive inside lorry container in Cape. Ice cream. No, there's no ice cream. Maybe Green Founder's got ice cream, I don't know. Please stop the lorry on the M20 outside Asford, about 15 miles from the Channel Tunnel. Lorry carrying 9 migrants has been stopped in Kent hours after the bodies of 39 people were found in the back of a refrigerated truck in Essex. 9 migrants were found alive after the police station. Police were called at 3:40 p.m. to report of migrants in the back of a lorry on the M20. Also stopped the lorry on the London-bound carriageway between junctions 8 and 9, just after Asford, holding traffic. Were they refrigerated? Probably not. I mean, well, they weren't a refrigerated truck, so maybe they're probably cold.
Well, refrigerated trucks tend to be cold.
I mean, they were alive, so they weren't frozen.
Oh, not solid, at least.
A Kent spokesman told Sky News 9 people are now being checked as a precaution by the South East Coast Ambulance Service before they passed into the home immigration officers. The M20 from Folkestone to where the Channel Tunnel is, and also links to the A20 to Dover where the ferries come from Calais. In the hours of Wednesday, a lorry containing bodies of 39 people were found on an industrial estate in the neighbourhood of Essex. Hopefully they all get sent back now. If you want to come here, come illegally. And here's the thing, if they made it to France, we'll just stay in France as well. I never got that. It's like we pay France billions a year to keep people from coming to live and do their job. I don't know why they can't just stay in France. I mean, they've made it to a safe, developed country. Why don't they stay there? And why do you have to? Why do you have to come over here? Yeah, they'll call us racist for sending them back, even though France doesn't want them either. We'll call the French the racist. And that's still, they got a cold reception. Police were called at 1:40 a.m. to graze paramedics who had been called to the refrigerated container shortly before. The driver is understood to be 25-year-old Mo Robinson from Portadown, Northern Ireland, was arrested on suspicion of murder. The cab and refrigerated container have now been moved with police escort to ensure to a secure location at Tilbury Docks, Essex, so the bodies can be recovered while preserving the dignity of the victims. Victims? How are they the victims? They came over here illegally. on a lorry, and they're considered the victims, are they? Like, no, you're not a fucking victim. The bodies are still inside the trailer, and officers have not yet established the identities of the dead. You know, that's your own fault for traveling over here illegally. So they must have been frozen then. He said temperatures in refrigerated units can be as low as minus 25 degrees Celsius. Undescribed conditions for anyone inside is absolutely horrendous. Well, you shouldn't have done it then, should you? Here's the thing, they could have just snuck onto the truck without him even knowing that. That's a possibility. I imagine that has happened before. I've known there are people like who sneak underneath the fucking self-assist. Probably slide back. You're not getting fun though. Boris Johnson called the incident an unimaginable tragedy and said those involved in police trafficking should be hunted down and brought to justice. Yeah, but it's not going to happen, is it? I don't even know if it was people trafficking. It could have just been. It's not going back to the water without even knowing. Because not before that people like who would literally cling on to the bottom of someone's lorry and go right away to France, right away from France into England. I've seen it before. I think that's kind of impressive, actually. So, right. Come on, hurry.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Also, welcome back, Rob.
Bad signal.
Yeah, Wikipedia, they're still called reefers. Wikipedia asks if refrigerated trailers are still called reefers. Yep.
Yeah.
Sex worker who had sex with skilled worker who had sex with student says she wants to be freed early. No. You can fuck off. A counselor who was jailed for having sex with a 17-year-old student wants to be released early from jail. Well, I'm afraid to say, if you were in the UK, you wouldn't be. I would defend you because you would have been on the. If you were in the UK, it wouldn't be so bad because legal age of consent is 16, even though it still would actually be illegal because it's 18 for. What's the word for
Consent.
No, it's not 18 for consent. It's 18 for consent if it's like a teacher and a student, for example, then it'd be 18. Maybe that's how that works. Even still, you still broke the law. You still had sex with someone who is under the age of consent in your country, therefore, you're a paedophile. It's your own fault.
Yep.
Rebecca Sparrow has been gone out of the hearing after filing an early release request. She said to appear in court on the 5th of November in Stomach County, Ohio, to plead her case. Sparrow 38 said in her request she realizes she is completely to blame for her behavior, writing, I fully expect full responsibility for my actions and I wish I could go back and change them. Well, it's too late now, that's why you ended up in jail. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison in January 2019 after pleading guilty to one count of sexual battery in November, according to Beacon Journal.
That's just one count that she got caught on.
Yeah, we don't know about the other ones.
Mhm.
She's a counselor. She took advantage of a vulnerable kid in need of love and attention. Yeah, agreed. Also, hello, linked.
Hello, gorgeous.
Prosecutors say the boy was referred to Sparrow in 2016 because he's having trouble coping with his parents' divorce and had expressed suicidal thoughts. But instead of helping the team, Sparrow repeatedly had sex with him. So yeah, she did take advantage of him then. Hey guys, sorry I've been working and lurking. No worries. How's work going? Sparrow and mother too. He was recently divorced. Apologized to her child, saying, "I'm sorry for the betrayal and trust. I'm broken trust. You all expected more from me, and I let you down." Well, it's your fault, isn't it? You thought, the kid's clearly not on the right frame of mind, so you took advantage of it. You're a scumbag. And you deserve to be in jail. She was assigned a tier 3 sex offender as part of her sentence, meaning she'll be required to register her address every 90 days for the remainder of her life. Again, no sympathy.
And then the police should come put up signs in her front yard for Halloween.
Oh, this is in Ohio. That was in Georgia.
Close enough.
Student who has remained unnamed has not appeared at any of Sparrow's court hearings. He reportedly told prosecutors he wants to move on with his life. Fair enough. It's been going well, thank you. Been really busy tonight. I guess that's better than standing around doing nothing. Time passes quicker that way. Assistant Prosecutor Felicia Easter said she believes Sparrow should not be released early, but says she does not oppose Judge Jamie granting Sparrow the chance to speak. He started that she wants to hear directly when Sparrow is truly remorseful. Sparrow's attorney, Mike Callahan, said Sparrow has completed several programs while in prison and has no infractions. I believe in reform, but you know what? You're sentenced to 2 years. Stay there for 2 years, then come out. Then it goes much quicker. Yeah. You're not bored. Ooh. Anyway. Fucking Martinique chilling on my fucking general.
Tell him to put it in the shill.
Yeah, you complain about the people killing in his general and he chills in mine, hypocrite. Yeah. All he is.
Tell him to put it in the shill.
Glasgow refugee charity take down Donald Trump with a jolly sign after complaints. Refugee. Oh, God. Ugh. Really? Really? Okay, for those who don't know, a nickname for a Glaswegian is a Ouija. And a jobby is a shit. Following complaints from residents, they've taken the jive at the display base at Byers Road taking down the jive. Display at the base on Byers Road in the West End. A refugee charity has removed the sign from the shop calling Donald Trump a jobby. Refugees say complaints from residents and the take down the giant display on the basis on Byers Road in the West End. The charity who welcome residents in the city say true Glaswegian style. Say welcome refugees in the city true Glaswegian style aren't letting it stop expressing their feelings about the American president. I've heard of Ouija's and Fifers. Yeah, and Fifers are from Fife, obviously. They have now stuck it up on one of their walls in the store and inviting locals to come take pictures with the sign. Oh, you're making your political views very clear, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that actually got involved in the fucking Donald Trump protest in Glasgow.
So I'm not even sure what that. I don't even know what a jobby is.
That's it.
Mm.
One of the city's foremost jewelry designers, Bonnie Bling, took to social media to protest the decision. She tweeted about the situation. Refugee being told to remove Donald Trump as a jolly protest sign from their window due to resident complaints. Byers Road, I thought you were better than this. Hashtag protest, hashtag free speech, hashtag Trump. Well, this has nothing to do with free speech because if it's the residents themselves that are complaining about it, then how does that violate free speech? It would only be a violation of free speech if it was the government doing it and they were a private entity.
Yep.
Then it's a violation of free speech. Refugee has since responded. Life as a council area in a Stornoway county of Scotland is situated between the Forth of Tay and the Firth of Forth inland boundaries to Perth and Kinross and Clackmannanshire. Wikipedia. Okay. That's useful information for those that ever wanted to know where Fife is, I guess. I learned something new today. Refugee have since responded. Who knew the West End had so many Trump fans or folks offended by the word jobby? We'll have to take the sign on the wall inside. Come away and get your photos of it in the warmth. Refugee founder Salma Hales told Glasgow Live, we're baffled by the fact that there's been a number of complaints, however. Received some excellent Twitter conversation about what we should replace the sign with. A lot of people have suggested to Refugee about what they should replace the jobby sign with. Ron they said, oh, he's one of them. He's a Celtic fan. Ugh. By the way, I'm a Rangers fan, by the way. Who are Celtic's main rivals. Just said, just stick our new word over a jobby every week. Each change straight to previous complaints. Message yes with Planet. Even takes it to our suggestions next week. March makes Bling says Fanny balls next week, please. Find out more about it. I'm not gonna fucking showing your bias there, Daily Record. I'm not surprised. Anyway, it's chill time. So we've come to the end now.
And well, I'm the Pumpkin Trucker on the Daily Dash Cans. Starting up tomorrow morning, about 7 to 8 a.m., going to Springfield, Pennsylvania.
I also assume that Green Thunder will be doing his Fallout stream. That's
I assume. I haven't heard that he's not.
at 3 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. EST, and head over to Blind Girl's channel in about half an hour. I remember one guy. I remember one mistake. One guy. I remember mistake. One guy for a good fella. He said, "Good fella, Luigi. I'm a Pfeiffer." I learned that I like the word Johnny. Right. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. You're all a bunch of guns. Goodbye.
Later.